Hey man, everybody stand up if you ever had your back against the wall and had to fight back.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Go Big Red Weekly. I'm Brad Morris along with Jason Burkeen. And we get the privilege today of talking about the Paducah-Tillman game. Yeah, man. Let me just say this, Jason. I hate that we lost that game. I hate it. Okay? Don't ever want to lose to Tillman. Don't lose to anybody.
Right.
But I'm glad they won a game. Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
They needed to win a game, and not happy about it, but they won it. And I don't know. What do you think about the game?
Okay, hats off Paducah-Tillman, Jay Burgett. Also, we were filming in the fan section. All Tillman fans around us. They actually, after the game, said,
all class.
We watch you guys.
Yeah.
We're for you, except on this game. I mean, mutual respect. We love you. They love us. That's what's up. I thought the game was hyped, and it lived up to the hype.
Absolutely.
You know, it did. If you were there in the stadium, you felt the electricity. If you were going into the stadium trying to download your GoFan ticket, sometimes it didn't work. You know, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when we got in, set up, everything Verizon as well as AT&T, the signals was choked to the point where we could not do it on the regular iPad, and I ended up having to shoot it on the AT&T on my little cell phone. Did the best we could. We find out from yesterday that Verizon actually said that they're doing some upgrades around the stadium, and you can notice that they're doing a lot of upgrades, and that's temporary. Is what's going on. Is temporary. 2 years ago when Brad and Doug filmed it and did the game there, no issues. This year, a lot of issues. We actually now have it up on YouTube as well as Facebook, and just again, appreciate you guys for watching and the sponsorship. We did the best we could with what we had, and that's what's up. But as far as the game is considered,
talking about the game.
Yeah, I'm just getting that out of the way.
Okay.
So now we can talk about the game. Mayfield came out, Tillman came out. But like my guys pointed out, Tillman always scored first. They always had the lead. Mayfield never could get the lead.
That's true.
So we're playing from behind, something that we haven't done in a while.
Long time.
You know, and you know, if you watch the game, our offensive line is a lot smaller than all these bigger schools. Normally, that's the norm. So this is nothing. This is nothing that.
That's fine. That's true.
There's no excuses or nothing like that. But their line was huge. They've got D1s all around. I know they got a sophomore that they brought in, number 70. They had 73, 75, all the 70s and the 60s or whatever. These guys were huge. But our offensive line played well. Coach Joe during the coaches show actually said. He said this was the best game our offensive line had played, even though there were times that Zane was running for his life.
That's right.
But earlier in the week we had talked about some of the coaching staff and also Zane saying this. They're bringing 3, 2, and sometimes even just a single guy every time, and we have to pick up the stunts. And I think that literally, if you really, I don't know, did Zane ever get did he ever get sacked? And if he did, it wasn't like a hard shot that he didn't know they were coming.
I think there might have been one play he lost yardage on a sack.
Right.
He definitely had a lot of hurries.
Right, he did. And hats off to Tillman.
Absolutely.
We knew that they were, star-studded across the line offensively and defensively. And they did well. One thing that Mayfield did well of, we could get it down the field. We were using our weapons. Mac Hoover had a great game. Braden Morris had a great game.
Great game.
But we all had pieces of the puzzles that everyone did their position good. But when we got inside the 20 and a couple of times got inside the 10 and even the 5, we couldn't get the first down.
Until the defense shut us down.
They did. Yeah. And that's a good football program.
That's on them. That's right.
Now, I'll say this. I wasn't satisfied because we lost, but like you said, this is a rivalry game, and whenever me and you played or we was in high school, here's the thing. Tillman, they won more than they lost. I mean, they actually had the most wins at a point, in our lifetime for sure. Right. So was when I was in school, and now we actually own that record because we had 17 wins in a row. And then of course Tillman, they were ready. They were ready. One thing we talked about last week was the penalty situation, and again, there was flags everywhere. And how many penalty yards did Tillman have for the night?
182.
182 penalty yards. Yeah. And some of them
that's unheard of.
Yeah, and some of them came at a great time for Mayfield, bad time for Tillman. I mean, they called back a nearly touchdown, and Brejean ran him back.
Oh, may have been the greatest play of the whole entire game.
Great job, Brejean.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That young man don't quit. He is a winner.
That was outstanding.
That's right. And he ran and spotted Mr. James, I don't even know how many yards, and said, not on my watch.
And credit to James for pulling off that fake. Everybody thought the running back had the ball. Everybody on our team did.
Yeah.
And we looked up and he's running down the sideline.
Yeah.
And Brejean ran him down.
Right.
Awesome.
And I'm going to say something. I'm not going to name any names. But there was several plays that I was a little perturbed on because I noticed that one or more so plays, probably about 2 or 3 that I can remember, that one of our guys had a chance to hit someone and stop them short of a TD, but never did play. Like he gave up and let the guy walk in the end zone. Let me tell you something. That's not Mayfield football. Don't do that. Just like Brejean could have said, oh, he was already 20 yards ahead of me, I'm going to let him go. No, he didn't, because he's a winner. I'm just saying, everybody's a winner on Mayfield's team, but I was a little disappointed in that. I'm sorry, I had to get it off my chest. Yeah. But we're going to move on.
The Brejean play came back anyway because of
it did, and that's what we was talking about, the penalties. But what I'm trying to say is, we can't quit Mayfield. If it's okay to get down on a play or so, but everybody needs to start picking each other up, And I was a little disappointed. Coach Joe did say we had a lot of breakdowns in coverage. The Jack James, when they called a penalty against us because they was holding our guy in the end zone, they brought it back to the 20. Then the next play, Jack James runs
all the way in.
Runs 20 yards. I mean, we can't have that. Also, they called him CP4, but number 4 for Tillman, the highly touted recruit. Yeah. Hey, big time. Hey, hats off to him. Great athlete. It was when we could never stop that over the middle deal, you know what I'm saying? And you got to know where that guy is at all times. And I don't know what his run was, but after he caught the yards after the catch, but it was a ton, and he kind of went in virtually untouched also. Yeah. And there were several plays like that we had breakdown in coverage. Now, I will say this again. Coach Joe said this on the coach's show. I'm just reiterating what he said. If you don't believe me, just go back to what he said. He said when we had the first down and about 3 inside the 5 or whatever it was, he said we went to the heavy package and we didn't get the first down. And we could have eventually scored if we had got the first down because we was inside the 5. And he says normally we don't have any trouble with the heavy package, but they kept running it. And I'm not going to say that one of the spots wasn't a little suspect, but I believe, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, I think the game was called pretty evenly, even though that the yardage against Tillman was great, but they were doing something, like the unsportsmanlike penalties and different things like that to gain the 15 yards against them.
Yeah, I've got the penalty yardage against Paducah, but in my stats, the penalty yardage against Mayfield is not included.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it was, both teams had penalties. I do think Paducah Tillman had more penalties.
Yeah, they did. And, again, Tillman was ready for the game. But then we look at the score, and they only beat us by 7. And we had opportunities after opportunities.
Every chance to win that game. Yeah. And Paducah Tillman defense just brilliantly said, no, we're shutting it down. And that's the difference, because in the past, you know this to be true. Yeah. When we got in a situation where it looked like the game was iffy for them, they quit.
Yeah.
They did not quit this year.
Yeah, they did not quit. You're right. And they surged ahead. And hats off to the coaching staff of Tillman. They've got a lot of Mayfield guys over there. Also, the athletic director, Jay Bargett, of course, I talked to him before the game. He's like, hey, I'm not doing any coaching. That was one thing I said, I'm not coaching, and everything. So it's all good. But yeah, so just a class act all the way around from all the Tillman fans that was around us. They actually said they watch us, So all I'm trying to say is great game. If you didn't have any dog in the fight, this was a great game to watch. However, we're Mayfield fans.
That's right.
And we want Mayfield to win every time.
Let me go ahead and give some of the stats from the game.
Okay.
Mayfield had 37 rushes for 142 yards for the game. Judge had 22 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. Makai Dumas had 9 carries for 58 yards and a TD. Zane was 17 of 30 for 279 yards, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. We do have Mac Hoover had 6 receptions for 97 yards and a TD. Mayfield had 3 turnovers and 23 first downs. Paducah Tillman had 35 rushes for 162 yards, so they outgained us on the ground. Jack James had 13 of 26 for 226 yards, so Zane had more yards through the air. He had 3 TDs. C4, the Carter kid had 5 receptions for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it doesn't give the Mayfield penalties, but it gives Paducah Tillman penalties.
Right.
17 penalties for 182 yards, and they had 0 turnovers.
Yeah, that's the big deal. We had 2 interceptions. Then Makai Dumas. I had 2 interceptions and Makai Dumas fumbled the ball for the 3rd turnover. But I'm going to say this: Judge had a good game on the ground. Makai did also. The thing is, look at Judge, look at Makai. Makai's smaller. You know what I'm saying? And when you got big guys around, the hole's smaller. It's sometimes easier for Makai to get through there than it is to Judge. But none of our guys. They kept blocking, they kept running, they did the best they could. Makai did have a fumble, but he came back in the game and did well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he never stopped, he never quit. And I was pointing that out earlier. I'm not saying the kid quit earlier. I'm just saying on that play, he's like, oh well, he's going to score. I'm not going to give him. If you got a chance to give somebody a lick, you take that.
That's right.
You lay that lick.
Play the play.
That's all I'm saying. I'm a big hitter, though. I was a big hitter. I like to take people's heads off. A lot of people on my team did. So that's why I'm saying, initiate the hit. Don't let somebody hit you. You initiate it. One thing we had talked about during the game, which was the broadcast, it was, golly, up in the air. We was like, just crazy. Doug did a great job trying to scramble, trying to figure out what was going on.
He did all he could do.
Yeah, Brad, myself, but we noticed one thing that Mayfield could have done better on, and that was tackling up high. Yeah. I've never seen a team that continued, a Mayfield squad continue to try to hit somebody up high only. Yeah. And then when it was like, you got to stay low. Now, Ian Williams did deliver a hit down low. Mac Hoover did also. I remember them distinctly well because it was just so great. It was a great hit. But opposed to just a few times, and do you remember that play where Jack James, they were inside the 5 and they just like said hut and like the whole pile got moved 10 yards? Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what would stop that. If someone takes someone's legs and just wraps them around, someone's going to fall.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been in a crowd where one guy or 2 guys falls, what happens? Everybody else falls. You know what I'm saying? You've got to stay low, especially when you got bigger guys. You have to. It don't matter if you're offense or defense. If you're defense and if you're a defensive lineman and you stay low and the guy that's the offensive lineman is bigger than you, the coaches would rather you, instead of getting blown off the line out of the play, basically just take the low road and make a pile, because then that means they're going to have to go around you, not get blown off the ball. But I was disappointed in that fact. I thought we were fundamentally better than that.
Well, and hopefully this game will make us better ultimately.
It definitely will.
Yeah, and two things I was disappointed in for the night. I wasn't disappointed in much. I was and it have nothing to do with the ball game, pretty much. I was disappointed in the
hot dogs at the concession stand.
No, I was disappointed that nobody could get on it. We couldn't get out and broadcast the game.
Yeah.
You know, we were being limited. And secondly, I was very disappointed in Tillman's choice of putting a radio DJ on the PA announcer and cheerleading from the. I mean, Tillman is a better class program than that. That's something that that's corny, okay? And
he's a fan, and that's his opinion. That's saying,
hey, it doesn't fit big time football, okay? That's something else. So I just think, and besides, it's illegal. If you look in the National Federation of High School rules, you cannot cheerlead from the PA system.
Well, he's part of my family, so I'm not going to say anything about him. That's my wife's cousin.
No,
he did a great job.
He did a fine job because I'm sure he was paid to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and actually, he's a great guy. We know him. We actually know
nothing
him.
against him.
Yeah.
It was just
It was a little over the top. And people on the broadcast, he was saying, I'm just messing, but he's family. I just don't want him to steal my piece of chicken at the next family function. No, I was kidding. But no, seriously. Yeah, I was a little over the top for sure. Yeah, it definitely was. And he would say that's what he meant to do. But again, this rivalry has kind of been fizzled out after 17 years of on one side. So it was kind of good to see the fire, even though we were on the receiving end this time, for sure. But
let me just say, the PA announcer did not cause us to lose this game.
No, definitely
had no
not.
impact on the game like that. It's just one of my little things. So.
Okay, one thing too, for Tillman to continue to get better, because now we hope they win. We're for Tillman. I mean, we want them to represent
I hope they
well.
win out.
Yeah. One thing they're going to have to stop is the penalties.
Oh man,
that's senseless.
So they're going to have to some self-control.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, and I know they're trying to work on that.
Because they got a long. I mean, 4A is as tough as any class in the state this year.
Yeah. Bull County's still number one
There's
in the
some
state.
big dog. Corbin is good this year.
Yeah.
Johnson Central, I think, is still 4A. Covington Catholic is 4A. Man, it's going to be tough, but I hope they do it.
Right.
I do.
Well, enough about that. You want to talk about any more stuff about Tillman? Because now we got to go to the next game of McCracken County, which is, right down the road from Tillman.
Yeah, we should win this game rather handily. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
We should.
And, we got Jonathan Smith over there. He's an alumni from Mayfield. He's coaching, head coaching. One thing that we'll say that this game's going to be at the CFSB War Memorial Stadium. We're actually in the CFSB Banking Center. We want to say thank you to Amy Flint and the guys and girls for allowing us to use their great facility for the Go Big Red Show weekly. And but we're going to be there 7 o'clock, CFSB War Memorial Stadium in Mayfield. We want everyone to show up. This is a home game. Okay, this is a home game. So it's going to be good. Now, McCracken is a 6A school. They've got weapons, and their line is going to be bigger than our line.
Absolutely.
That's typical.
Absolutely.
We've had like a lot of grudge matches, with McCracken in it, and usually it's like we win, they win, we win, they win. We beat them last year, and if you watch that game, I don't know if you can. If you go back on Red Helmet Video, you can watch that game. If they had caught a few passes early when they dropped them, it could have been a little bit closer game than what we remember, because they missed some passes that would have probably went to the house. They have athletes in their skill positions, a few of them, and I just feel like that Mayfield just don't need to take anything for granted, and our offensive line needs to block just like they did against Tillman and give Zane some time. We have so many weapons, and is there enough footballs to go around? That was one of the things. I mean, I can just name them. Will Moore's got a catch. Diego Torres got a catch.
Did a good job.
Them guys did fantastic. Mac Hoover, Braden Morris, Bray Jean. Zay got some passes thrown at him. I know he missed one. He might have missed two. But here's the deal. Bray Jean missed a pass. I mean, we can't catch everything. There was only 13 missed.
No. As fans, we expect them to catch everything.
Well, we want them to for sure. But you know, this is real life. This is real life, and it's one of them things though. But we have so many avenues to get the ball, and then we got Judge up. Then we got Mackay. They're going to get some touches. So it's very difficult sometimes for everyone to get the ball. But I'm thinking, like you said, we've talked during the week, you're saying running clock on McCracken.
Yeah. And
I would love one.
They put Josiah England in to receive one of the kicks, and I thought, my man is going to take it back.
He did fantastic against Paducah Tillman. I say you got to put him in.
Yeah.
He can see the field and his vision of the field.
He has a knack.
He does. He does. And that's what we got to do. We got to use the people that has their gifts and use them to the best of our ability, you know. Yeah. And I think Mayfield does that well, you know. And like I said during the coaches show, Coach Joe even said, hey, we may put some of this on our coaching staff. So they're going to go back to the drawing board and they're going to figure some things out, you know, and everything. So, but with McCracken, they've got a big line. What else? I mean,
I think I'm going to say 45-7.
45-7. I said 48-14 on Jinx's picks this week.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
48-14.
I'll take that.
And I think we might score to get the running clock.
But that's not a running clock, 48-14.
It will be if we get up, and then our guys will score, and their guys will score later. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
that's where I'm looking at.
Yeah, scoring on the JV.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say with Josiah, then you got Ken Shelley.
Oh yeah. Reggie Dow.
I mean, we can score. You know what I'm saying? And we got a great JV and freshman squad coming up, and they're hungry. We also have a number 44, the freshman end. He played a lot of minutes during the Tillman game. I mean,
Thompson.
Yeah.
Thompson.
Hey, dude, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we got guys that's ready to fill the holes, and that's good for us. That's good for us to have that.
I do think one last observance on the Tillman game. The Tillman guys did not seem to be cramping like our guys were.
Right.
So I think our guys need to take the off season. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to draw huge paint with a big wide brush, but I did notice that their guys might have been in a little better shape than we were. So.
Yeah, possible. I will say this.
Of course, they may not have been going both ways like some of our guys.
Yeah.
So that plays into it.
One thing I'm going to tell everybody this: if you're a parent, if you're on the coaching staff at Mayfield, I don't care. I'm just telling you, this actually works. Yeah, I know pickle juice, and you heard this and all that. Telling you, mustard, it actually really works. Squirt bottle. I mean, a teaspoon. I have had a body cramp all over. The whole body was cramping. And someone told me that. I could not get relief. I did Gatorade, I did pickle juice, I did it all. Nothing. I promise you, it was a tablespoon of mustard. Within 10 seconds, it was instantly done. Now, of course, I kept the mustard next to me in case I got more cramps later, but I was severely dehydrated, and we was on a sporting event, but that actually worked. Like literally, I couldn't even get out of the vehicle without cramping up. And when I got the mustard in me, I was fine.
So, ladies and gentlemen, look for it at the next warm game we have. Red Helmet Video Mustard. It'll be on sale.
I'll be taking packets and just throwing it at y'all. But seriously, it works. Training staff, get your mustard to your players. It really works. But anyway,
hey, you can't finish with anything better than that right there.
Mustard, it works. You know, but seriously, it is good to have. Okay, so you're saying running clock. I'm saying 48-14. Is there anything you want to add? CFSB War Memorial Stadium, 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Just be there. If you can't be there, we'll be covering it for you. Go Big Red.
Go Mayfield.
And we gon' make them too. I can't fall asleep, I gotta stand tall. That's what a leader do. Follow me, I'm leading you.